favorite place to be is right here. Not thinking out what brings me down. My favorite way to be out here is in the now. I'm learning how. Fast like my face, no I'm doing just fine. One foot in another, floating.
What's up, guys? Today we're gonna go through my 3 years of ownership on the 2016 Jaguar F-Type R. Going to give you all the positives, negatives, and just my overall experience. The first thing I want to cover is actually how much did it cost me to own this Jag for 3 years. Now, it was a lease, so the normal maintenance was included, so that I can't speak to the pricing of. What I have paid for, some of it was optional and not needed, and some was needed. Tires, something I didn't expect to have to go through in 11,000 miles, but I did. The transmission failed. It was slipping, needed to be replaced. The dealer's quote for that was $20,000. It should be under warranty, it should be no problem, they should put a new one in, and that should be the end of this, right? Shouldn't have cost me anything other than gas and tires. That's not the end of it. So let's get to the things I did to this car. They weren't required, but I elected to do them. Carbon fiber extras. This car had next to no carbon fiber on it. Like, the inside was plastic. The mirror caps were plastic. There were some exterior trim pieces that were plastic. I chose to buy those parts from Jaguar. They were not cheap. It was about $3,000 worth of stuff. It wasn't a lot of parts, but it was expensive. I found a company called Velocity AP. They offered a tune, they offered lowering springs, they offered a pulley for the supercharger, and they offered high flow cats for this. I did talk to them on the phone. I let them know everything had to be able to be undone so that I could give the car back at the end of the lease. They told me that there would be no problem there and it would cause no issues for me. Now, that phone call suddenly is in dispute with them. They say that phone call, they would have never said that on the phone call. I seem to remember it, but that's my opinion apparently. So the tune is something that manufacturers can see, so just be warned. Like, if you tune your car, they know you tuned it. And so when I had the transmission fault, they said no. So I appealed the decision. I got a phone call from Jaguar USA, and they said they know the tune did not cause the transmission failure, but because of the tune, they were choosing not to honor the warranty. So I would have to pay the $20,000 to repair the transmission. I asked them to give me some sort of proof that this is why they were doing it, a letter or something. They said, we do not do that. We're just telling you over the phone. It was a recorded phone call. I asked for a copy of the recording. Jaguar USA declined to give me that as well. So they refused to fix my transmission because of the tune, but wouldn't give me any proof of it. I got in contact with Velocity AP. It took quite a few emails and phone calls before I finally got someone there to answer me back. They said, there's no way their tune caused the transmission failure, and they stand behind their products 100%. So now that the tune is causing the issue, I expected them to stand behind the product. They did not. They quit returning my calls and told me it wasn't their fault and they were going to do nothing about it. So I was just basically on the hook for the whole thing. I unfortunately would not recommend them to someone. The tune they gave is a quality tune. The parts are all quality parts. So as far as that goes, yes, that's all good. In my single experience, they do not stand behind their product, and therefore I cannot refer them. That's with Jaguar and Velocity AP. I will not keep this car, which there wasn't a chance I was going to keep the car and just buy it at the end of the lease. I will not, due to the fact I don't want to support Jaguar USA at all. This right here, the glass roof, I love it. Like, if you don't like it, you can close it if you're hot or whatever. It's nice. The only issue I really have, you can't open it. So you can't get any airflow through it or anything like that. It's just there. I'm sure it's for structural reasons, but I love the digital gauges. They look really, really nice. I'm actually a huge fan of them. I'm not a fan of where the volume for the radio is placed. I feel like it's just an awkward spot. So like in Lamborghinis or something like that that are two-seat, there is room behind this seat to put a jacket or something. The front of this has nothing like that. This little cubby hole right here is all you've got. Everything else has to go under this in the trunk area. Now it does have a very large storage area in the back. Suitcases fit no problem, groceries, anything like that. So this is a very capable daily driver. The only problem I have is in the cab. If there are two people, there's not even a place to put your backpack or purse or anything like that. So it all has to go back there. That is not a regular trunk. It's more of a hatchback style trunk. So when it's hot in the car, it takes extra time to cool it off because you're cooling that space back there too. It doesn't seal, which doesn't seem like a huge problem. It doesn't make sense why they had to make it that way. Plastic, plastic, plastic. That's my #1 complaint about the inside of it. The car looks amazing. I love the style of this car. The best way I always describe it to people is I say it looks like it should be in a James Bond movie, but it should be the villain's car. Like, it's not sophisticated, it's like evil. I love that. It's loud and aggressive, and mine is a 2016, which is an all-wheel drive, so it feels secure on the road all the time when you're driving. You can take corners at high rates of speed. You don't feel like the back end's kicking out. Even better is it treats it as if it is a rear-wheel drive car, so it feels like a rear-wheel drive car, but as soon as the back end starts to slip, it throws power to the front, and it will throw all the way up to 50% of the power to the front, so you feel glued to the road at all times. I love that, and I hate that. There's no way to turn the all-wheel drive off. You have to be in all-wheel drive. You're not ever able to switch it back to rear-wheel drive only and be able to have fun shenanigans and spin around or just do burnouts or anything. It's always all-wheel drive. If you're into shenanigans like I am, you would like the ability to be able to turn to rear-wheel drive and make it behave like the first version of these that was rear-wheel drive. I'm 6'4", and I have plenty of room in this car. I've driven it to Las Vegas from Sacramento and back in about a 24-hour period. You do have a little bit of snug foot room as far as your feet being, because of the transmission, your right foot kind of gets pushed over a little bit. It's not bad. You have plenty of room to do long road trips in it and be pretty comfortable. I paid for a few other things that did not need to be done. I put wheels on it. I've wrapped it 2 different colors. I put a camera system into it. I put a radar detector on it. All of those don't really matter, but the wrap was $3,000 each time. The wheels were like $2,500. The stuff I got from Velocity AP, which was the tune, the pulley, high flow cats, and lowering springs, were $3,000, and the installation of them cost me roughly $3,500. Carbon fiber parts I spent about $3,000 on. So overall, to make this car what I think it should be for the price tag, I definitely think the wheels were not up to par, in my opinion, for my stock ones, to be the quality of wheel, or to put this car at the quality the price tag did. I happen to love to wrap cars. I like the uniqueness of it, where there's no other ones like it. So those definitely did not need to be done, but to make it unique, I did that. The carbon fiber parts I feel should have come standard. Again, for the price tag this car was new, it was a $108,000 car. To have no carbon fiber anywhere but on the factory wheels, as like a showpiece on the factory wheel, it's cheap. A lot cheaper cars come with carbon fiber parts, so I was disappointed in that. And honestly, I feel like any piece I bought should have come stock, and there should probably be even more. I just chose not to buy it. Lowering, I understand why it wasn't lowered, so probably didn't need that. The tune is, I chose to buy the Type R instead of the SVR, because for that $6,500 after buying the parts and installation, it gave it more horsepower and sounded better in my opinion than the SVR, which was a $60,000 upgrade for my car. So I didn't feel it was needed. I felt it was a better value and a better car to get done the way I did. Now, if that's the case, I'm not sure, because I ended up blowing out the transmission according to them because of the tune. I did have to repair that transmission. I did not go with the dealer's suggestion of replacing it with their factory one. Found out after doing some research that this transmission is not made by Jaguar. They purchase it and put it in this car. And the people who make it actually make this transmission, or versions of this transmission, for multiple cars, including BMWs, BMW actually puts a better version of this in there. So the parts are available, and we use the BMW parts to put in this, and it's actually a stronger transmission now than the factory Jaguar one. So if you buy one of these, be careful. They put the cheapest version, from what I can tell, of this transmission in this car. So it is the weak point. Jaguar knows it's the weak point, and they're getting out of it any way they can. The high flow cats made it sound amazing. Again, everything I did from Velocity AP was solid parts and didn't cause any issues other than voiding my warranty. And technically they didn't void it, because the dealer was very careful to say that. They said they chose not to honor it. So take that with whatever that means. Overall though, I'd say after 3 years, the car itself, I love this car. Every time I drive it, I enjoy it. I have a great time in it. I actually looked to see if maybe I should get a 4-door that had this motor in it, because I liked it that much. But at the end of the day, I cannot support Jaguar USA and the way they did not stand behind their products. So it's a weird review. The car, yes. The company, no. And there is a high likelihood I end up with one of these cars again, but I will buy obviously a used one out of warranty, because, well, they don't stand behind their warranties, in my opinion. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let me know what you think in the comments about the car, about my review of the car. If there's something I didn't cover that you maybe would want to know, I have this for a couple more months, so I could do another one and add that to it. So until next time, I'll see you later.